Okay, so we're going on a journey to modernise operational and business support systems. And here we are in the company of Fátima from Red Hat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Annie. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity of being here with you in this great event. So today what I'm bringing is our vision on how to enable the next generation OSS and BSS system to support the evolution towards a digital service provider. And then Luis Tas, my colleague, he will give a broader view on how a telco digital service provider landscape looks like and the benefits and the value of implementing a common horizontal hybrid cloud foundation. So today there is a new reality in the telco sector we are seeing because there are new services that appear constantly and have to be deployed in a faster and agile way. There are new technologies arising. Everybody's talking about that, 5G, NFV, SDN, that will enable even more services that we cannot even name now. There is, and there will be, and we are seeing with the pandemic that there is being a huge increase in data traffic, and the environment and the competition is fierce, and our customers are becoming more and more demanding, requiring new services and new capabilities. So all the environment is very dynamic. It requires real-time capabilities for our services, for our technologies, and these challenges are totally linked with the previous that I mentioned. And on top of that, we are very lucky because we are having also new technologies, new capabilities like machine learning, like artificial intelligence that will help us to create and bring more intelligence into our business and operations. So all those aspects that I'm talking about will definitely require a complete OSS and BSS modernization. And this modernization should be done in parallel to the network evolution and to the introduction of new services. Otherwise, it will be impossible to approach such transformation. We cannot forget that OSS and BSS systems are the ones that will help us and will enable us to implement an open telco digital network, to bring new capabilities and services into the market in a faster and agile way, that at the end of the day is what we want to achieve, and also to adopt new technologies like zero touch that will help us to be more efficient. So what does that mean for a telco provider? It means that first, we need to optimize our existing services, and we need also to bring new capabilities and services faster to the market, as we mentioned before. And for that, the implementation of a digital experience and the adoption of new technologies like containers and microservices that will leverage and will help us to enable all these new capabilities and to create new applications and new services faster will be key. On top of that, the implementation and adoption of automation capabilities at all levels, at the infrastructure level, at the operational tax level, but also at the business processes level, will be key in order to be more efficient. The second principle that is very important and in order to foster our collaboration with third parties and in a multi-vendor environment is the implementation of an open ecosystem with integration agility. This will be a must. Opening our ecosystem to third parties, to our customers, to developers, and being able to bring all these new services and capabilities in our portfolio will bring a lot of innovation. And that integration based on APIs will help us to reduce the complexity of the integration and bring all that capabilities faster and in an agile way. In this context, the implementation of policy enforcement capabilities, the implementation of API management and SLA management capabilities to manage that collaboration with our ecosystem will be key. The third point that is very important, of course, are the data. Telco have tons of data that can be leveraged and can create value to our company. So become a data-driven company with analytics capability, with real-time insight capabilities will bring a lot of intelligence to our company. In this context, the implementation of a common data mediation layer in which all our systems, OSS and BSS systems could share the same data, and we could create on top of that new use cases, new capabilities. We are talking here in this event today, like self-healing network, automation, intelligent bots, etc., etc. So all these new capabilities that we can create on top of the data could help us to implement our intelligence in the business and operations. The fourth point that is critical, of course, and crucial are our customers. We need and have to provide the best experience to our customers. And for that, BSS should provide a seamless experience and should provide also self-service capabilities to our customers, and should be able also to exploit all the information that we are gathering from our customer, that contextual information, 360 real-time customer information, in order to create new intelligence and bring new intelligence and innovation to our company. And the last point that we cannot forget, and is very important, is that OSS and BSS systems should also be a facilitator to embrace and implement new ways of working in our organization. So like DevOps, like continuous integration, continuous development, that will provide us that capability to bring the continuous innovation to our company that we are looking for. So all these are the key guiding principles for this OSS and BSS modernization. And all these principles should be scalable, should grow according to our market needs. And for that, the implementation of an open hybrid cloud foundation in which we can onboard all the new capabilities that we are creating in our systems on top of that will be key. I want also to highlight that all these capabilities, all these guiding principles are being powered by open source innovation. So, as a summary, Red Hat recipe for this OSS and BSS modernization, and not only at the application layer, but also at the underneath technologies that are supporting these new capabilities in our system, have 4 ingredients. The first ingredient is cloud native development. Going cloud native will bring the agility and will help us to bring all the services to the market faster, as we mentioned before. And going cloud native will provide greater flexibility and reliability to our OSS and BSS system. The second ingredient is automation. We have talked here today. Automation at all levels, as I mentioned, at the infrastructure level, operational task level, in order to be more efficient in our operations, and business processes level, in order to be able to bring new capabilities faster to the market. The third ingredient is the implementation of agile distributed integrations based on APIs. This will reduce a lot all the integration complexity that we are suffering today in our system, and will help us to bring new integration capabilities in the market in a very, very agile way and very fast way. But also integrating with our partners, with our ecosystem, with the developers, with our customer based on APIs will foster that collaboration and that innovation that we are looking for. And the fourth ingredient that is critical is the implementation of an open hybrid cloud foundation, because it will provide us all the benefits of the cloud. This means scalability, flexibility, and reliability to our business, but also going hybrid will give us the freedom and the option to decide on which footprint, on which cloud I'm going to onboard my new capabilities of the OSS and BSS system. I could put it in the private cloud, on-premise, or in the public cloud without any lock-in. So Red Hat brings all the technological solution for implementing these 4 ingredients, but we also bring the capability to help our customers adopt all these new technologies and cultural change. And all our solutions and all our technologies are open source. We work in the open source community with our partners, with our customers, and even with our competitors to create this innovation and these technologies that I mentioned and are needed for the modernization of the OSS and BSS systems. But it's not only that. We are not one of the major contributors to open source technologies. We bring all the open source technologies and make it consumable and secure for our customers. This means that we'll bring a predictive roadmap, we bring all the support that is needed to the solution, we bring secure solution as it is needed in a telco great environment, and we also bring software and version compatibility. So we help our customers to create their own cloud-native new capabilities, to integrate their new IT systems and capabilities based on APIs in a very agile way, to adopt automation everywhere in the company, and also to manage the complexity of the hybrid environments in a very easy way in order to be prepared for the digital future. And this is not just philosophy. We are seeing in many market reports, like the one that I'm showing here from India, that are mainly due to the pandemic and the COVID, that there are a clear investment and acceleration in the journey and the evolution to a telco digital service provider. So in this context, we are seeing that there are clear push and a lot of investment in OSS and BSS modernization. As we can see here, there are many areas that are critical for our customer, like the migration of the OSS and BSS to the cloud in order to become more efficient and to provide this scalability that we need, automation of the business process, the adoption of microservices technologies to develop these cloud-native functionalities that we are talking about. Also, the implementation, as we heard this morning, of AI and ML capabilities everywhere. And what is very important, the modernization of the digital engagement layers that we are going to use with our customers in order to provide the best customer experience. And let me bring here two examples of customers that have used our technologies to modernize their OSS and BSS system. The first one is A1 in Bulgaria. A1 wanted to transform the digital channels and wanted to provide a best experience, digital experience to their customers, and also open new lines of revenue. And for that, they modernized and they created a new platform, a new common platform based on microservices, based on our technologies, and they created new capabilities on top of that for their BSS systems. So today, they are providing self-service capabilities to their customers through the mobile application, through the website, so the customers can do many things like activation of new capabilities, the activation of roaming services, and they don't have to go on-premise to the store. So as a result, they have improved a lot the customer experience with these digital channels, with this modernization of the digital channels. And what is very important for them, they have fostered the adoption of the digital channels between all the customers. And also they have created a good foundation for the future cloud adoption inside the company, which is also very important for them. And the second customer is Swisscom. We heard a great presentation from Swisscom this morning, talking about the market environment, talking about their strategy. And what I'm going to bring today is what Swisscom did and decided to become more efficient in their operations. They wanted to reduce the cost, they wanted to reduce the response time, and to be more efficient. And for that, they decided to implement automation at the operational level. And they went with our technologies, with Red Hat technologies, Ansible in this case, to automate the management of 15,000 components between IT and network elements, sorry. So with that scope, the results was impressive because Swisscom anticipated that they could get savings of 3,000 hours of manpower per year. They also reduce a lot the responses time. Therefore, they are providing a better customer experience. And what is very important, they can also use their engineers to a more valuable task. So this was with the scope that I have presented today, but we know that Swisscom, one of the main focus as they introduce their morning is automation, and they have created a global strategy around that, and the benefits that they are getting now are even bigger. So this was my part of the presentation today, and now Luis is going to bring a broader view on how a telco digital service provider landscape is. So Luis, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Fátima. So in this second part of the presentation, I want to give you a wider view of what containers brings in the telco transformational journey. So transformational journeys that are taking place now as we speak, and actually, as we could see in previous presentations. So for me to do so, let me use a bidirectional approach. I'm going to use one dimension, which is going to be the areas in telco. A second dimension is going to be the telco, the type of telco that you are going to use and is running underneath. So, and as far as the telco areas, so we can see or characterize this in three main areas. The first one is BSS IT with BSS OSS. Second one is networks. And the third one is the applications development. So for the first one, I think Fátima really zoomed in on the BSS and all the benefit of using containers in this particular domain. So let's put the focus on the other two. So as far as the application development is concerned, so containers is widely used. So developers love to use containers because they can develop once and regardless and deploy in many areas, regardless of what is running underneath. So by doing so, it brings two main benefits. The first one is reduction in the TCO by 37%. The second benefit is the application development lifecycle is improved by 66%, which has an impact on the revenue as well. So the second area, or the third area actually, is mobile or networks. Let's call it networks because we're including mobile and fixed. And although fixed is a bit behind in terms of containerization journey. So, but however, in networks, what we are seeing so far is that containers is a really early stage. So we are seeing projects coming up within this year, in particular in the areas like 5G core, 5G RAN and 4G, BNFs, and in other network functions as well, in a really controlled manner somehow. And we are going to see this picking up next year. So the main benefits that we are seeing, in particular based on the models that we are seeing and we are sharing with our customers, so we can see that the benefits at the TCO improved by 25% in a rollout of 80,000 sites. This is particular for the Open RAN. As I said, and in terms of speed to market or the possibility to improve the deployment is something that is too early to assess because of the nature of the or the stage that we are at. But however, we expect to have an improve improve the time to market and the time to deploy the solutions as we go forward, once the solution gets mature. So this is concerning the first dimension, the telco areas where, by the way, ones are pretty much focused on deployment, like networks, others like applications more focused on revenue generation. So, but let me now focus on the second dimension, that is, what type of telco are we going to use? All what I mentioned before applies either for a private or a public network. So in that sense, we can get different or similar benefits depending on the type of cloud that we are going to use. But I would like to, in this particular domain, I want to put the focus on the private public cloud, because there is a caveat though, and the caveat is the vendor lock-in. Once you put the workloads in a public cloud, the possibility what is going to happen over time. So what we are seeing, and in particular with this network transformation, is that there are some workloads that fit 100% in a public cloud. There are others that at the moment is a big question mark. Why? Because the traffic profile is unknown, it's not predictable, and maybe what fits in this environment, maybe in a short term, you know, you have to replan everything again and port this workload onto a different cloud. This is what we believe Red Hat brings value and is key, because gives you the freedom of doing so. So that said, I'm moving on to the next slide. So our customers, as you can see here, you know, the number of customers adopting containers is growing more and more every quarter, actually, you know, in different areas, in all of them. So in networks, in IT, also in applications development. So, but one of the things that you have to consider, take into account when you made the decision of who is going to help me, partner with me to build these transformational projects, is the delivery capabilities. The delivery capabilities for these projects are key. And one of the things that you have to consider are the skills, but also the scale. You need the right scale for this. One of the factors that we think that is instrumental in the success of any project is the culture. We believe that is our main differentiator as a Red Hat, is our open culture, how we work and how we partner with our partners, actually. So in that sense, I think that is important to highlight this. Bottom line for this presentation and this part of the presentation, containers brings efficiency and speed to market, improvement in the speed to market. But in addition to that, Red Hat Kubernetes or containers-based platform brings the freedom to port transition workloads from one cloud to another freely, seamlessly, and also the culture that we mentioned before. Thank you very much, and I think now we are open for questions if needed.
Thank you very much, Fátima and Luis. One question I have is, you did sort of mention some total cost of ownership results. Could you tell us a little more about that? And are they based on real life deployments in Europe? So
of course, there are many TCO models. For instance, Rakuten published some time ago, you know, TCO improvements by 45%. The ones that we have in EMEA, and in particular with containers, are models based on agencies and third parties, models that actually we are working with our partners to make sure that the assumptions we make are consistent and make sure that they're real. So in that sense, we are happy to share this with our customers, work with them, because actually we are involved in many activities with our tier ones in this particular area, and you know, make sure that those figures that we are publishing and we are sharing with our customers are correct and accurate.
Okay, you talked a little bit there about culture being a critical success factor, and you talked about, because of the way in which Red Hat operates and always has operated, you work within the community and so on. I mean, it's native to you, right? But I think probably for a lot of telcos, the cultural change is a lot tougher than the technology change. Is that something in your experience, Luis?
Pretty much, yes. I mean, pretty much so. So I think our customers, you know, are transitioning from a traditional mindset to a different way of working, where basically we are breaking up, you know, the barriers that we have in the past. Instead of working in silos, now is more kind of multi-vendor, where you can manage, you know, also different technologies. So this, we are seeing this as a potential challenge, the cultural change in the operator. But nevertheless, that's why we are saying that the way that your setup, the project setup, the culture, and your pick for the partners is essential, because this is going to guarantee, you know, the success of the project. How the project is going to evolve is essential, and also how we are going to transition the knowledge, and in particular in this area, you know, into areas that they don't have that one. So I'm thinking of containers into a network environment. This is a really good means, and also it's changing the, you know, the current way of working.
Let me add, Annie, on top of what Luis just mentioned, that open culture is part of our culture, is part of our DNA. At Red Hat, we are very used to working, as I mentioned in my presentation, with the communities, with a complete ecosystem of partners, competitors, etc. So we are used to do that. And in this context, and in the telco, in the evolution to a digital service provider, one of the key points is to collaborate with the ecosystem and to open our capabilities to the ecosystem and collaborate with our partners, with APIs, etc., and with different technologies that we have. But we need to leverage that capabilities from the market, from the ecosystem, and we need to establish this open collaboration. And in this sense, I think Red Hat can bring a lot of value, because we know how to do that, because it's part of our DNA and our culture. And let me just send an invitation to the attendees of this event, in case you have any challenges in this context, in the evolution to a digital service provider, or you need something, just feel free to connect with us.
Okay.
And we can run.
To stop you, Fátima, there.
Okay.
We've got one question because we're running a little late.
Perfect.
I've just got one more question and then we'll have to move on. And somebody has asked, in your experience, which workload is the most contentious for public or private or public cloud choice? So which, in your experience, which workload is the most contentious with public or cloud or private choice? And the suggestion is that operators and Red Hat might have a difference of opinion on this.
So I said, let me add to this first. So our strategy is hybrid. We believe in both, and we have faith that, you know, both platforms are equally valid for this transformational journey. The truth is that by the nature of some workloads and applications, and, you know, we have the different presentations earlier that mentioned that, you know, in particular, the nature of some traffic growth, the uncertainty sometimes, and also how this traffic is going to evolve, right? So because we're speaking about moving part of the traffic farther edge to the farther out to the edge, closer to the customer. How this is going to impact on the commercial, in particular with the public, which is going to be a challenge. Maybe change completely the commercial agreement somehow. So it's something that you have to look into, because, you know, it's not what is going to happen today. You need to foresee somehow what is going to happen maybe in a few years' time. And if this solution is the right fit at that time and not now.
Okay. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
It's the kind of situation we're going to watch and learn, I guess.
Yeah. Say again, sir.
So Fátima and Luis, I'd like to thank you very much for your presentation and your help. It was interesting. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.